Hey guys, so I'm going to do a tap in for Jessica Barnes. I don't know how it's gonna go. Usually I like to try different things and see what I'm feeling and see what spirit wants to show me. Um, so I'm gonna see what I can channel because I feel like things are happening with my gifts a little bit and they're shifting and changing. If I have to do an Autowrite, I will do that, but I wanted to do a quick tap in. So before I get started, please make sure that you like and subscribe if you like these types of videos. If you're already a subscriber here, please make sure that you tap the like button for me. If you click the copy, share and copy, you don't have to share it if you don't want to, but if you want to, you may. That also helps the algorithm. So um, when it comes to doing these cases, I like to put it out there to bring awareness to the missing people. Also, all the ways to support me are down below. If you would like to send a tip, you don't have to, but it is very much appreciated, especially right now. Also, I have merchandise and stuff. I am working on some new merchandise. I have some new ideas for some astrology stuff, so I'm going to work on getting that up as well. But everything is down below, and don't forget about the Otter Spirit bracelets. They also have necklaces and other cool gems. They have astrology sets and whatnot, but all that is down in the description box below. All right. So keep in mind that this is for entertainment purposes only. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Viewer discretion is advised, and this is not facts. This is all alleged. So I know earlier when I was talking about her, I was getting kind of a feeling on the front of my throat. I don't know what that is yet. So what I wanted to try to do was, pull cards, see if I could channel a little bit and see if I could tap in and what I could tap into. I know a little bit about this case. I actually know a little bit more than I would like to, but there's not a lot out. So hopefully, I can get some validating information. For some reason, I feel like I wanted to use yellow on the microphone. I know it looks kind of orange on the screen, but it's yellow here, and I changed this to yellow, which you can't really tell. It just looks clear. I don't know why. I know that she's wearing yellow in one of her pictures, but for some reason, that's just the color I for some reason want to connect to her. I'm not really sure why. So I do have the balls up here. The bear is ready if she chooses to use those. I'm very active on live. I don't know. I may turn on the EVP at the end of this. I'm not sure. I'm kind of just going like where I'm led and what I feel like I want to do. And so as you guys know, I try to tap in different ways to get different information. When I use the cards or whatever tools I may use, that is an extension of me. And that is just to help gain more insight. It is a tool. It is symbolism. If I choose to use the rods, whatever I choose to use, is the spirit kind of guiding me in that direction. But I'm having a hard time breathing, and I don't know if it's my own stuff. I've drinking kind of a lot of coffee. I've been kind of tired the last couple days. So hopefully that's not me, but I'm having a little bit of a hard time breathing already. I do have her picture pulled up here. And somebody in the chat is the one that kind of brought this to my attention. So keep in mind the information that comes in the cards when I do them and in my channeling, because I'm going to try to tap in and channel a little bit before I use the cards. And then, like I said, I might do it all right later on if I don't get what I need. So information that comes in, as you guys know, can be past, present, future. It can be symbolic. It's not always literal in how that I get it. Sometimes it's metaphoric, and sometimes things can have multiple meanings, especially numbers. So these cases include puzzle pieces, so you want to take those puzzle pieces and put them together for location, for what happened, etc. Sometimes I'm shown a lot, sometimes I'm not. It all depends. I have no control on what comes in. Spirit is the one that shows me, and sometimes it might be my issue because maybe I'm not as tapped in or I have my own stuff going on. Every case is different in what we get. We won't get everything, but we get what we're supposed to have. Everything has timing, so I'll get things that to where I can perceive them and understand them, and I might get references to other cases or whatnot, and that's just to say these are similar or try to describe it to you guys, okay? For those of you that have seen me work before, this is how I work. Sometimes I do get interconnects. It doesn't happen as often as it used to, but Laurel's been coming in for a bit since I started working on Summer again. I was getting pulled to that. I was getting pulled to the name. So if you guys see my pool list that I have on here that I ended up putting up, whenever I get pulled to names, it ends up hitting future stuff. So it seems to be hitting in several cases or several things since I get pulled to the name. And that's why I mentioned it whenever I feel like a pull there. Now it could still fit Summers. I don't know. That's not where the rods are taking me on that. But on this one, it seems to be that's where the residence is off of Laurel. I also found it interesting that it's Anderson County. Anderson County's been following me around for quite a while now. I don't know if you guys remember, but I got Anderson back with Elijah's case and ended up being that guy that unalived that poor girl that he took out. And we think there might be more victims. I keep calling him a serial killer because I feel like that's what he is. But so it started with that, and then it kind of Brooke Anderson is what I'm working on now. This is Anderson County. It seems to be following me around. Like a lot of these other words that have been coming in now. Whenever I get pulled to words, it can fit multiple cases. It's just the way my stuff works. It's very weird, I know. So we'll see how this goes. I can edit it if I don't get anything. I'm not used to channeling this way. Channeling this way to you guys is new to me. I did do it in gosh, I can't even Micah Miller case. Thank you. I did do it in that case, and I did something very similar to what I'm going to try today. Just because I just don't feel like sitting down and tapping in, and I'm wanting to learn different ways. Okay, so yes, I've tried this a few different times, but I wanted to try it again. So that's what I feel like I want to do, especially since I've been getting little hits here and there. So that's basically it. I'm going to see what I can channel, and whatever I can't channel or whatever I get is what I get. I'll work with the cards, and keep in mind, again, it can come at any point, anytime. It can be things that surround the situation and whatnot. I do try to go in cases as blind as I can, but like I said, I do know a little bit about this. And I do know she's been missing for a little bit. Okay. For those of you that are new, I do scribble to get information, and if I edit this, I might shorten it up for you a little bit, but okay. So the thing with Jessica is that she feels like a lot of people took advantage of her in her life. I feel like she was very easily manipulated because she wanted to belong. And there's something the reference of age 18 that's coming in. I don't know if that was a specific time in her life where I don't know if that's when she met her significant other. I don't know if that's just something when she moved. I'm not sure, but there's a highlight on age 18. Can be number 18. Whenever I get numbers, they can be ages, months, days, whatever. But I am wanting to put a emphasis on 18. It kind of feels like an age the way that it's coming in. I feel like she wanted to belong, and wanted to like fit in, and I feel like people took advantage of that, if that makes sense. I feel like she was taken advantage by a lot of people in her life that screwed her over and betrayed her. That's the way that it's coming in. I feel like a controlling, manipulative behavior from a male in her life, and I feel like there was a lot of love bombing in the beginning of this relationship, to like bring her in and get her stuck. Like I said, I do know a little bit, but I will never say anything I don't get myself. Okay. I keep seeing my wrist being grabbed and being slapped, and my head is hurting all of a sudden. So I feel like there was this person, her husband, whatever you want to call him, narcissist. Which I do know his name is Brandon, and again, this is all alleged. It's interesting. I think that came in Idaho 4, but because I don't have the type ups, I can't check it. But the name seems kind of familiar, like it's came in before. I know Jessica did. So there's lots of things that are pulling me into this case. This guy, he's a narcissist, but there's also like he can't keep it in his pants. And I feel like he's used to manipulating women, controlling women. Um and then he it's a typical gaslighting behavior, or apologizing, or I will change for you, I will change these behaviors, I'm sorry, I won't cheat again. But I feel like he cheated multiple times on her with multiple women. um and I feel like she was stuck, she didn't know how to get out of it. There's a cross being shown to me, so I don't know who's religious or who had a belief in God, but they're giving me a cross, and I'm taking it as, in this, the way that it's coming in is like there's a belief factor or a religious factor or a feeling of um God. But I also feel like this person would use God against her, if that makes sense. You don't leave your husband, things like that. So I think because she had a strong faith system, it was used against her. I don't know how else to explain that. That's the way that it's coming in. It's unfortunate. She feels very much like she's empathic, maybe even shy at sometimes. And I feel like, again, she was taken advantage of. And she was stuck in a situation where she didn't know how to get out of it, because I feel like every time she tried to leave, he'd bring her back in some way, shape, or form, and would manipulate her with, I'm going to be better, I'm going to do better, you're just tripping, I didn't do that. Like that, all of that energy kind of surrounds this. He's a pathological liar, is what I'm hearing. Allegedly. I'm hearing he would know the truth if it slapped him in his face. So I feel that's her personality. I feel like she did have moments where she could be blunt and straight up, but most of the time I feel like he was a very dark force in her life, as well as the people that surrounded her. I'm hearing fake friends. I don't know why my head is hurting. I also feel like she has an artsy vibe to her, or eccentric vibe. And she even has a little bit of a kind of like geeky vibe. So I don't know if she used to be really smart or like to read or something like that, but I'm getting like that kind of vibe with her. There's a reference to, I don't know if she ever did this, but it could be symbolic for just being artsy, like taking chalk and making like a cool designs like on wherever the walls or the sidewalk or whatever. That's what she's showing me. And I can also hear like singing and music. So I don't know if she used to like to sing or um play piano at any point in her life. There's reference to 5, so I don't know if that's May the 5th, 5 years, 5 miles. It can be anything 5 related, significant. Um, I feel like somehow he would always, again, it's like a push pull. It's very toxic. It's like I sorry, I've noticed that closing my eyes sometimes helps a little bit. Since channeling this way with you guys is new. I feel like it's like a tug of war. Like he'd screw up, I'd leave, I'd get pulled back. No one else wants you. No one else would want you. You're not anybody without me. It's like I feel like I'm beaten down to the point of I actually believe it. There's this mentality here where, again, she's being manipulated to believe that a lot of this stuff is her fault. and that if he cheats on her, it's her fault. So there's a lot of gaslighting going on here, a lot of manipulation going on here. And I feel like I'm being smacked. I feel like at the same time, taken away from people that she loved, taking away from um hmm, okay. She was being emotionally and physically tortured, and she felt trapped. And again, I feel like I don't know if he took control of the money, or took control of, like, to where she had nowhere to go. And if it's almost like a prison, like a mental prison, a physical prison, this anguish of being beaten down to the point of um you'll never make it without me, you can't survive without me, that sort of feeling. And I feel like, I wonder how I get two, so I don't know if they were together for 2 years. I guess this would be 2 months. It could also be February the 2nd, 2 kids, something of that sort. Because I feel like, now I do know she lost a baby prior to her going missing. I don't know the circumstances around that, but I feel like it had to do with abuse and stress and trauma as to why it feels, I hear the word early. So I don't know if she was like a couple, she might have been 2 months early, she might have been 2 weeks early. There's something about being early. That could be where the two comes in. I want to connect that to the two, but I'm not sure. But I feel like I hear stillbirth. I don't know if she miscarried or had a stillbirth, but I'm hearing stillbirth. I also hear boy, so I don't know if it was a boy or not. Um, that's information I don't know. So she's very much it's very sad. She says, like, tortured soul, like, it was one of those relationships she couldn't find her way out of, one of those situations she couldn't find her way out of. And I feel like it's kind of like the sister wives. I get that feeling. What, I got that in another case at some point, but it's almost like he has her in there. And I do know that there's other roommates, but like he's sleeping with everybody, like a sister wife situation. Like he feels like he could, and if she leaves, she'll just come back. He's not worried if she leaves or if she finds out that he's cheating. It's not a big deal, because he can have his cake and eat it too. That's the way that it comes across. Um, because I feel like she did come back because he would manipulate her into coming back. And my ears hurt. Like I feel like my head, there's like something trauma to my head or something. Huh. I feel like there's some sort of argument that takes place. It's like I come back from this situation and I feel like there's some sort of argument that breaks out because of what happened. I feel like there's some sort of blame, like he's blaming her, even though none of it's her fault, if that makes sense. But I feel like um, she finally confronts him about something, maybe cheating or something like that. Like as soon as I heard there was two roommates, I felt like that was something I knew, right? But I felt like it was a sister wives, like he was just going to whoever he wanted to get whatever he wants. Um, and I do know that one of them was pregnant. Um, but do I feel like they all know what happened and they're all kind of involved and complicit in some way? It comes across as that. I did take a glance at her astrology, although I don't know. Like I haven't been doing it, so I don't really remember. But it seems like there's an evil female in her friend group, which I was feeling anyways. Like someone there's betrayal here. There's huge betrayal here, and I feel like all of them know, or all of them are involved in some way, shape, or form. It's almost like something happens out of control, something very swift happens, and I feel like my head hurts and my throat hurts. There's something very swift that happens in the heat of the moment, I feel like I'm jumped at some point. Like this fight gets out of control, and I feel like my hair is being pulled. Um, so I don't know if I got jumped by all three of them or two of them or what. I keep wanting to go with the number three. Like they're all involved in some way, shape, or form, but specifically male and female, I feel like I'm jumped. I feel like male hands are around my throat though, but I'm getting hit upside the head. I'm getting my hair pulled. Like this comes from being like confronting and things going into a fight. That's the way that it's coming across. There might be something broken because I feel like something's hits me in the head and it breaks, and I see something on the ground that's broken. So there might be um um so I feel like there's like I see pieces of something broken. So I don't know if she got hit upside the head with something, but I feel like I can't breathe. Earlier I felt that I was trying to talk to somebody about this and I felt like a pressure on my throat. But there's definitely feels like there's head trauma. It's like something goes too far. At least with a male and a female. That's what it feels like. I don't know if it's but they might all know about it, but specifically it's like I'm fighting. There might have been a fight over a relationship. And what I kept wondering was because one thing that they did talk about was that she was seen on the third allegedly walking by an exit, but I'm starting to wonder if that was her. So I don't know if any of them look like her or anything like that that could put on her clothes and act like her. I don't know why that kind of like came to my mind. Like I'm just wondering if that was her. I unless she left after the fight, but I feel like there's something that happens. There's something out of control that's like a split second that's like that happens very fast. And then it's like I feel like there's like been like three different stories or it's like three times something was said, but there's little things that have shifted. And it's always trying to like lead astray, lead astray, lead astray. That's what I'm getting, like leading astray. Because at first, when I heard that she was allegedly seen on the third walking, I thought, well, did she go and do something to herself? But it's not coming across that way unless I don't know. I just feel like there's a physical fight because of confrontation. Like she's just had enough and it goes too far, but I feel like I'm attacked. Like I do feel there's multiple energies around. I did something with her phone. Her phone is thrown somewhere. I keep seeing like her phone like laying in the grass off a road or something. Like if someone were to drive by and throw it out, like that's what I keep seeing. Um and I do know that they did check the lake or they did check around the lake because of a car ping there, but it's almost like I drive the car there. There's things done to lead astray because I keep getting those words lead astray, go in another direction. I feel like she was really trapped in this situation and she didn't know how to get out of it. He's very narcissistic and psychopathic, like very controlling, typical abuser behavior, but the kind that thinks they can do whatever they want, and you're just like a plaything. I can do whatever I want still. That's why it's coming across. So, okay. And I had to go pee really quick, and I got the chills because all of a sudden I'm like, I think Victoria knows more or something like that. And I do know her name is Victoria, but what's weird is I got that Victoria name in 2020. So 4 years ago, I got that name. And I'm not saying it's connected to this case. My stuff, it's multiple cases. I just find it weird. That's all. I can't get over I don't know if I'm wrong. Like, I hate to say stuff and just in case, like, I'm wrong or something. Like, I always have that problem of second guessing, and I try not to, but I just, for some reason, don't feel like she left the house. I feel like something out of control happened or something very quick happened. And it's like we have to scramble to do something. And I don't know if anybody looks like her, or what's throwing me is her being seen allegedly on the 3rd. That's what's throwing me. And I did get 3. That could be the 3 too, but because multiple numbers have multiple meanings. But that's throwing me off a little bit. I don't think she drove in a car anywhere. I think maybe her car was driven by somebody or something. But I want to go in the opposite. One thing I was getting kind of when I was in the restroom is I want to go the opposite direction of the car. Like, if the car's at the lake, it's like I want to go opposite that way. It's very I don't know if that was like a plant, or you know what I mean? Like, it feels like she keeps talking about like the car being there, but like the opposite direction. I don't know if that's right. Like, I don't know. Let's see if I can pull some cards and see, because I keep getting a wooded area, but I'm not getting much else other than my chest hurts. But like I said, we'll see if I get anything else as I pull cards, or later if I want to do an auto rate. I keep feeling like there's something that happens at the house, and I don't know if she leaves because of that, and then she's picked up later, because it's like I'm missing the her being seen on the 3rd is throwing me. It's throwing me because I don't feel like it feels like after that fight or anything. Like, when I looked at her astrology chart, the Uranus is in the 6th house going into the 7th, and that's like some kind of unexpected crazy event, but it hadn't happened yet because I used the timestamp for 5:30, which was the phone call. So it was like, it was at the 6th house, which is like your health and stuff. Like, it was going into the 7th. And she has Mars there, which is a male. And again, astrology, I haven't been able to do much of it yet, so much of it anymore, because of our time zones being different, and she's not going to really have time to teach me. So I'm just kind of trying to go off of what I remember, and I don't really know what I'm talking about, honestly. But just from what I've learned, Uranus is an unexpected event, and I keep going back to that in the chart. Like, Spirit keeps showing that to me. So stuff that I know they'll take me back to, but it's like is in the end of the house, and it's going into the 7th. And the 7th, I think, if I remember, it was like Jupiter and Mars. and Mars you can take as a male. And her in Aries is the 4th house, which is like your community, your home, people you know. So, but nothing had happened yet at this time. It feels like something unexpected happened afterwards. And I know her mom thinks that, like, I don't know if it was a few days later or whatever, that there was a text message or something that it wasn't her. I have to agree with that. It doesn't feel like her. I see a man texting on a phone, like trying to cover ass, trying to cover their ass, all allegedly. Okay. And the other thing that I kept getting earlier is a line. So a line can be new city, new county, new neighborhood, new state. I don't know how close any of that is out there, but that was one thing I kept getting. You can do it, Jessica. Make the balls go off if he did it. Okay, so we do have the death card. We do have trapped, health risk, which being in that situation that she was in was considered a health risk. I mean, she's in a bad situation with a bad dude. It was considered a health risk. I'm wondering though, so this could be like if the guy did was kind of sleeping with a lot of different women or whatever. That could be this, but also I just keep wondering if there's not drugs involved somewhere. If someone doesn't do drugs. I keep pulling that around this situation. I don't know if it's necessarily her. She might have dabbled, but there's I'm getting that for some reason. It's like, and then these two cards come in together, like alive but then assassination. I don't. And see, and here's the drugs. Rope could be used at any point. Knife. Poison. This was a poisonous situation. Accident, strangulation. So that kind of goes with what I'm saying. Like I don't feel like it was planned and it was done on purpose. This was like something that got out of control. This was like something. My nose just started hurting right here. She was almost hit in the face. So this is something that got out of control at some point. Like it doesn't feel premeditated to me because we got hand fist, which goes along with what I saw. Her life was hijacked. Murder card. She's trapped in the situation. She was trapped. I don't know what was burned. Natural object is interesting because of the glass I seen on the floor, and that knocked her unconscious. I keep pulling this card. I'm not seeing that, but I keep pulling this card. And again, it wasn't on purpose. Like this was just something that got out of control. The anger got out of control. The anger got out of control. Everything got out of control. That's what I keep getting is like out of control situation. She's missing. She was imprisoned in this situation, very much so. Desert just can be a sandy area. Again, accident. I pulled accident with all three of them, so this wasn't on purpose. Like it just again was something that got out of control. This was something that just kind of happened from possibly confrontation. She was trapped. Okay, burial. Fire again, I don't know. There's social media, so there might be some social media links, or I know he's like talking a lot on social media. That can be that, but any sort of social media. So assassination, it always comes up with like, someone alive, somebody. I can pull that card. Some kind of revenge involved. Mind control. She was very much in a brainwashed situation, in my opinion. He brainwashed her with manipulation, as these guys do with fear, and then the strangulation card again. Shh. The ball stopped and then it started going off again. There we go. The light is on. The part of the cards that we're on right now is who did it. Who's involved, I should say, allegedly. And that thing just started going wild. I thought I did it because I got up for a second, but it stopped and it started again, and now there's nothing going on. So, unless it's just overly sensitive, I don't think so. I think she saw how easy it was to trip off. The back of my head hurts. It's not stopping, and it's not nothing I'm doing. Unless it just started. I don't see. It always stops before. Like, it always stops and stays stopped. You know what I mean? It's weird timing. Jessica, is that you? Is that you? Am I on the right path with this? Am I on the right path with this? Your husband have something to do with this? Wait. Did your husband have something to do with this? I don't know. She might be done with the balls for the moment. Well, friend. And it started going off when I pulled the female card. Okay. So we have the devil card and the friend card, devil friend. Also the bloodline to the child. That's a terrorist. And this ended up being an organized crime. I don't know if they're connected. I don't know. Sometimes it's not literal. It's like it is an organized crime. But for some reason, I feel like there's drugs or substances involved somewhere. Okay. There's a rival. Okay. Which I feel like there was a rival going on in the household for his whatever. He was cheating on her, obviously. So, I mean, I knew that the minute I heard there was other women in the house. It doesn't take a psychic to figure that out. I realize that. But she's confirming that that's something that they were arguing over. That's something that caused this. I feel like law enforcement knows. And then family, which if it's a spouse, it would be family. Okay, there goes the balls again. Bad guy. Bad guy. That's a spouse. Okay. Then we have the couple. All right. So I do feel like there's okay, because we have the spouse, right? The bad guy, that's the spouse, allegedly. But then there's also a couple. that's a con man. And then parental figure. I mean, he does have other kids, I guess, and then he is her baby's daddy. Okay. I wonder, so I'm not taking this stranger card as like a literal stranger, like you think you know somebody but you don't. That's kind of how I take it. Mother, which there was another mother in the house. Just saying. That was a friend. And there's also an acquaintance. He was a father. And burglar, like I don't know if there's a past of burglarizing, but you also take this as stealing someone's life, stealing someone's something. And again, spouse. You're just making that ball go off, aren't you? Dating, which he was dating other people, so you could take that as, either or. It's interesting. Dating couple. So again, I can't let go of the fact that I feel like there's also a female involved in this, either after the fact or during or because of, but I mean, dating couple. I mean, he was married to her, but he was seeing other ones, right? So celebrity. So this case might get bigger. Devil. Look at this. Look at how these come across. Devil female. And there's the boss. I feel like she was hit out of nowhere. The back of my head hurts really bad. Like accomplice partner in crime. And organized crime. So allegedly, I guess he had another girl pregnant in the house, and I'm just wondering because of the mother card, if that's what she's, whoever he was also dating. Look at that, man. She's going wild on that ball unless it's overly sensitive. It wasn't going off earlier, though. Seems like she's validating the cards for me. Because I've been sitting here questioning and questioning and questioning. And yeah, I think I feel like again, there's something that happened out of nowhere, but it involved cards. What is going on? I need a bigger thing. There we go. See, they stopped. Okay, so now we're gonna see if we can get an area. Thank you, Jessica. It's not too sensitive because it stopped. No one's moving, so. Thank you. So it seems like both were involved, correct? At least a couple. I think they all three might know, but at least whoever he was involved with. She kept repeating Victoria to me, but I don't know which one that is. She kept saying it in my head, and I was like, well, I know that name, but it was repetitive, until I said it. An interesting timing of the ball going off right now, because it had stopped. So I said Victoria, and then it started, allegedly. And she's making that thing go wild. It's Jessica Barnes. Or it's Jessica Barnes. See, I started to question everything and think, well, did she run off and do something to herself because she was in a state of panic and depression and stuff from what he put her through? But then it's like, why change your story? Why change your story? Because I got that psychically, but I just feel like there's some changes in story, some changes somewhere. Like it's almost the same, but there's little shifts here and there. So that's why I'm like, oh, maybe she didn't do something to herself, you know? Because I was questioning that. But I saw an altercation. I saw everything go haywire. The whatever glass pieces on the ground were, really was really vivid. And then I feel like the feminine energy around as well. But I feel like there's an argument, and then it's like I'm almost jumped. That's kind of how it feels. The back of my head keeps hurting with her. And I don't think like it was planned, like they were going to get rid of her. Do I think that she was kind of a burden and in the way? Yeah. But it's coming across like it kind of just was like something unexpected that just like and chaotic that happened. But I feel very much like she was very much tortured emotionally. That's why I had questioned if she did something to herself. And the whole being seen on the 3rd, I don't know if that's like legit or not. I don't know if that's a legit sighting. They say it was a legit sighting, but then when you look, it says August 1st because I was looking but then there's 3 again. But I was looking because I was trying to look at the astrology, even though I don't know what I'm really doing. I just have a little basic idea. Okay. One thing that I keep seeing is I do keep seeing a road and then wooded area. Wooded area. Like you don't feel like she's far off the road in a wooded area. Covered or something. And that's what I keep getting. I'm not getting in water. It's not. And I don't feel like, and I'll explain these private property cards because I don't feel like they'd keep her on the property because they know that's the first place they're going to look at. That doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I don't, she could be, but I don't feel that's what these cards mean. So, because that's not what I keep seeing. So we get a crossroad. So there may be a crossroad outside. The underground, this could be underground pipes. The church coming in, that's kind of interesting because I kept seeing the cross. So I don't know if there's a specific church they know or if this is just coming in because I don't know if she was kind of had a lot of faith, but it could be there could be a church in the area. There could be a tunnel of some sort. There's a river or flowing water. I don't have a creek card. So river, creek, hidden. Just hidden. There may be a hotel motel. I don't, unless something happened in a hotel motel. Shoot. So we have there's water nearby. Now these are things that are on the way or in the area. Water, neighborhood. I feel like it did happen inside private property. She could be near or on a certain kind of private property. Again, I know they were focused on the home, but I just don't feel like I could be completely wrong. They could be that stupid because we've seen it. I'm just not getting them though. I keep seeing a wooded area, but it did happen inside private property in a home though. So we have to remember we're surrounding the case. So something did happen inside private property in the home. In my opinion, I feel like something happened. Lost, which is interesting because we have a road with woods. I always pay attention to that with that card. And again, road. Like I don't feel like there's a reference to like a road. I don't know. I heard main highway. Power supply that could be along the road or whatever, some sort of power supply. Again, in the area on the way, there may be a school around. Bones, so that's something that tells me they might not be found till then, or just showing that they're deceased. Burial, don't think like way deep though. Hollow earth. So any kind of hollow earth. I also take that as like a cemetery sometimes, or certain kind of specific things you would consider hollow earth. Quarries, things like that too. Kind of remind me of that. But fire keeps coming in. I don't know if they like something was burned or what. We have again wooded area. Oh, we have dumped. My cards got kind of messed up. Dumped wooded area outside. See, that's why I'm like, I think it just happened with a vehicle. So they took her in a vehicle somewhere, but also the vehicle allegedly was found somewhere or pinged somewhere. But she would have been taken in a vehicle. And again, buried, I feel like covered above ground. So she's covered in a way, but she's not like deep, deep. That's the way that I'm taking it. Mountains, that could be hills or like around surrounding the area, just higher elevation too. I don't feel like they burned her, but she could have been burned, like betrayed, burned. Sometimes that's how I take that card. And city. I was just thinking in my mind, and this thing went off, about like rug or a piece of carpet or missing. It feels more like I don't know. It just kind of popped in my head, and then the ball started going off. I find that kind of weird. Okay. So what's interesting is the very first card I pulled was wooded. I have separate cards that have kind of the same cards. It just revalidates. And it's always how we perceive it too. But we have a wooded area again, which is what I kept seeing. And travel. So they traveled to it. So that wouldn't be on the property. But I think it happened. So outer space, that could just be somewhere where skies are kind of like you can see the skies really well. Hotel Motel, for some reason, is coming in again. But home, it happened in the home, or it could be not far from home as well. Natural disaster. I know there's a hurricane going on right now, but I don't know if it's like, because it's weird. I knew I was going to pull this card. I was thinking about this card for some reason. And I was like, wait, that hurricane, but I don't know if it's going to hit North Carolina or where is this? North Carolina? So it's in the Carolinas. I just find this interesting. It could be something to do with the timing, or also you can look at it as symbolism of this was kind of a natural disaster. Like it wasn't planned, it just happened. But I feel like there's like two folds with this. There might be something with it, man-made disaster as well. Like this is something just disastrous. There's it's interesting. There's tunnel. I keep pulling the tunnel card and the inside, like inside tunnel. I don't know. And again, neighborhood. It might be in a neighborhood. I don't know if there's like it's like hilly or mountainous or higher elevation there. Road again. So road is definitely significant, which is what I keep getting. And beach. So it could be any sort of beach, just sandy, beachy area. Again, I know her car was pinged at the lake where they used to go, but I keep wanting to go the opposite direction of that. I don't know. It feels like that's kind of like a plant, I guess. You can make the balls go off if you want to validate it at any time, Jessica. You've done such a good job doing that so far. I know it takes a lot of energy. Never get any work done. Hate Lee with these dogs barking. Okay, now we're going to go into things surrounding. Let's see here. I kind of raised my voice at the dog and they went off, but then they stopped. And they start going off again. So, all right. All right. So we have a friend knows something, which came in the reading already. Details leading up to the murder may be worth investigating. So whatever happened before, which came in the reading as well. Additional evidence may be at the crime scene. Additional evidence at the scene may be discovered, which I feel there is evidence there. Killer may have an item belonging to the victim, so if obviously she lived there and whatnot. I need to interview more suspects because I feel more people know something. Victim had a history with the killer. So again, this shows someone dating them with the knife behind their back, or knowing them, male and woman. This crime may be solved by DNA testing, or other scientific methods. Okay, this crime will be solved in the distant future. The murder weapon will provide valuable clues. Interesting. I don't know. Like, I didn't see a knife, but I feel like there's a lot of anger involved in this. Cell phone records may provide important clues. Illegal activities played a role. Lies, deception, and potential cover-up. So again, they're lying about it. They're trying to cover it up. Multiple people involved in the crime. That goes along with what I was getting. Jealousy, and affair, and love-related crime. Crime of passion. That also came in the reading. It's just validating. Additional evidence at the crime scene again, and already interviewed the killer. So, just saying. Okay. All right. So we have collapse. I feel like there was a collapse at the house. There was a collapse of the situation. I think she was like going through a collapse of sorts. Because her energy feels very like there was a lot going on, unfortunately, and that's why I even questioned, because I feel like she was very like upset in a tough spot. There's revenge here. Keep going to the girl for that, or I don't know, a female for that for some reason. But she was loyal. But also, I'm wondering, like, how religious are they, or what are their beliefs? Because we have the cult, but that could also be like the group of people that's like in the house, like they're all involved together. Cult, like in a, like, you know what I mean? Like a cult can be like a group of people that like believe a certain way or act a certain way, and like he's the leader. Like I said, keep going like to the sister wives thing, but I don't know what their beliefs are. But curse, it's interesting because it's like curse on the marriage. And then weird science. Again, I feel like there's some kind of substances involved. Some kind of ritual. Like, again, I feel like he had a ritual of cheating. So there's investigation going on. So this can be like money or blackmail. She might have been being blackmailed. Somebody might be being blackmailed. Like, if you tell, don't tell, or this or that. All my things are all messed up. Dang it. So demonic possession, control. Like he's a very controlling person, allegedly. There will be legal proceedings. But there's going to be delays, unfortunately. With the Saturn in retrograde, I can see that, but there's going to be some delays. Drama. I feel like there was a lot of drama leading up to this situation, honestly. He wanted all the power. There is evidence, though. She was in fear. I feel like she was in fear. And they're also in fear of getting caught. I don't know where he worked at. There's something about the work that keeps kind of popping up. I don't know what he did for work or where his work is. There might be a gift of like information coming out the body, something of that sort. There might be some sort of gift that we're looking for. But this is a breakup. Bye breakup. Microchip. So again, there may be evidence somewhere, like this is like digital evidence is what I always take the microchip as. Evil. DNA. There's a meeting, which I feel like they were all like, there was a conversation in the house that started. Inside job. Communication. Trauma. She had a lot of trauma. A lot of trauma, and he like made her keep most of it secret. That's why there was no police like reports or anything like that, because I feel like he controlled her as like, you better not tell anybody, like you deserve this, like that kind of feeling. Sex. And she was really sad. She was really sad about a lot of stuff. Like, I feel like there's a lot of trauma here. Almost like a trauma bond too is kind of like what I'm getting. There's a debt somewhere. Maybe she felt like she owed him for some reason. Like, I don't know if like he helped pay for things or whatever, like, and he held that against her. Dating, a war because of dating. So again, I kind of take this as like there's an argument that broke out over him dating someone else, being with someone else. There's a cover up and a cleanup. And there's mental health involved. Like, I feel like her mental health was not good at all, but I feel his is not either. Justice. And this might get a little bit bigger because I keep pulling the celebrity cards. That's kind of how I take it. There was travel somewhere. The ball's going off again. When I said there was travel, I had to fix my cards because they were all messed up. Somebody's stealing money, or there's some sort of that going on that's top secret. So I don't know what he does for work or what his job is. It's kind of interesting. There's an incoming message. So this was also, I guess she did text her mom, and I think that there was a text a few days later or something like that. So that's what I feel like this is. A secret trip. Explosive. There's something that explosive that happened, but the government's watching because I got this government watch card. I think they have a feeling like something is amiss. Mind control, like, again, I feel like he was brainwashing her, mind controlling her with manipulation tactics, gaslighting tactics, you leave me, you'll have nothing tactics, that kind of feeling. There's money, something about that. Digital evidence, paper trail, someone's lying, there's treason, there's something with, yes, there was an alarm in the situation, but also this is also like my timing card, like the timing's off, protection, gaslighting. It's interesting, gaslighting social media, so I don't know if he's like, his posts are like literally gaslighting, but also he was gaslighting her all the time, I feel. She's really making those balls go off. Or Spirit is really making those balls go off. I think there's substances of some kind. I don't know, dude. Like, I keep pulling stuff that so there's an argument that took place. Again, that's come in. I don't know who was spying or if they're spying on him, but I don't know. There's also something about being caught on camera at some point. Set up. Physical evidence. They might end up on the run, but also I feel like she wanted to run. The affair. Government knows about it. Justice. It's like government justice. There's something that was kept a secret. And again, it might have been in the affairs. I think Jessica kind of knew, but she kind of like acted like, you know how kind of you like turn a blind eye, but you know what's going on because you want to believe it. And you're like in this situation. It feels like that. Alcohol. So I don't know. And then DEA. I don't know. I keep pulling stuff with substances. Which could be why this guy is so erratic. I feel like he's super erratic for some reason. I don't think my cards are setting that off because they would set them off before. She keeps setting off those balls. It has to be her. He's super erratic. Jessica, is that you? If that's you, hit the balls again for me, would you? If that's you, Jessica, hit the balls again for me. Am I on the right track, Jessica? So hit the balls for me, would you? Come on, girl, you can do it. If that's you, with the ball again, you've been doing it this whole time. Please. You have this right. Come on, Jessica. I freaking keep pulling the goddamn. See? Dudes. I'm gonna keep pulling that card. There's gotta be surveillance evidence somewhere. Okay. Interesting. We have the justice card again. So someone's getting caught and gonna get in trouble. But we keep getting the cult card. So what are these people into? I know they were probably a cult like themselves, but I just wonder what the, like, if there's not more to that, or like a group. But I feel like anyways, like, people in the house were kind of like in this, they're like in this like weird ass group. It's weird. I can't stop the feeling of like sister wives, but like a cultish, like, I control you guys and you, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I keep pulling the cult card. So there's jealousy here. There's perversion. I feel like he is, like, he's a sex addict, like, no doubt, but allegedly. But there's like, he's very perverted too. There might be something like with porn or something like that. Like, this is all really weird. He's got a huge egotism, something with money. She was healing in the hospital, right? Or she had just had the situation in the hospital. So, but I don't know if he parties a lot or there is partying that goes on. Again, crime of passion, love, lies about love. This life insurance keeps coming up, so I don't know if there's something about money, but there's cleanup, intuition. Like, she kind of knew something was amiss about things. He want to use the word amiss. I don't ever use that word. Surveillance. So there might have been a camera at some point, you know. Fraud. So did he take her money, or what is going on with that? Did he clean her out after that? Marriage and wedding. Greed. Like, he's sexually greedy. Okay. So now we have what's the vibe cards. I have very similar cards like this. But I like them because some of them are the same, some of them are different. But we have an apology. So he was apologizing, but it wasn't like rash decision. It was insincere and arrogant. So, because I feel like, again, like, he was always allegedly insincere whenever he would apologize. And he acted like he was nurturing, which I feel like she was nurturing, though. Like, she was a nurturing person. So these cards can be anybody in this situation, right? But she was daydreaming. I feel like she had daydreams of like how she wanted things to be, how she wished they could be. I'm thinking she wanted a divorce or something too. Because was this like, I feel like they just kind of like randomly got married. Like, it wasn't a big deal. Like, they just got married. Probably because pregnancy. I don't know. But it feels like it wasn't like, kind of like a justice of the peace is what I hear. So I don't know if they do that anymore. Something similar to that. But she felt like she was trapped. That she didn't have options. That she had a hard time forgiving. And I feel like, again, he made her feel trapped. But there's a masculine energy that's a father figure involved. And it's like, hey, let's talk about things. You know, we need to talk about things. I think things got out of control because it's like, let's talk reunion with a masculine energy that's also can be a father figure. But instead there was chaos involved in this. Upheaval, disaster, downfall of the relationship. There was tension here. And I feel like, again, there's this push-pull. I push you away, pull you back. Push you away, pull you back. That's old exes, dead relationships, old ways. Like, they don't change, right? And there's envy here. There's envy, resentful, competition, discontent. I feel like she was maybe envious of the women that he was with. Like, maybe she felt like he treated them better, but also it feels like there's a woman that's envious of her. There's lust and greed involved, which with the feminine energy, that could be it's interesting. I keep pulling the female card around this. And it's also burn bridges with the feminine energy. So maybe she was friends at one point, but the bridges were burned because of this guy. And she is exhausted, burnt out. She just wants harmony, peace, and happiness. But she was cutting ties. She was actually standing up, awakening, trying to leave, trying to be a bigger person. But I just feel like something happened like that. Again, she might have been thinking about divorce or wanting to file, but also there may be legal things that come up. She was trying to move on. That's why I wondered if she ran off, but I keep going back to the changing of the story. I think my cat just knocked the water bottle off, scared the shit out of me. But this is family, which is also inner circle. The intimacy was stagnant and she was stuck. Like the intimacy wasn't with her. Someone was bitter, petty, and angry, salty. She was, I feel, very angry about the situation. Also somebody liked, again, maybe I think he might like strippers and stuff too, but gambling possibility, but definitely the nightlife or partying of some sort. I feel like she was trying to defend herself finally, letting enough is enough. I keep feeling my head I feel like someone grabs my head. I don't know. I feel like I'm jumped. I don't know where after an argument, but my head, I feel like my hair's been grabbed. And I see it with her. I see someone's hand going into her hair, reddish blondish hair. I see it. She was rejected and left alone, and very shattered. She felt like a failure because she's married this guy, and it's a failing relationship. And I feel like he blamed her for everything. Okay, now these are the character oracle. And so some of it's symbolic, so it's surrounding the situation, and some of it actually is like a personality part of it. But I thought, oh, this is interesting. The bottom of the deck is clown, which I feel like he is. So this is gang, but it is also it's funny, it just went off with the word clown. Okay. This is also about violence and criminality, so I don't know if the guy has a past with criminality. Employee, so I don't know where he worked. I want to know where he works because we pulled the work card. Challenger. I feel like he would challenge a lot of different things. Bartender, but also small talker. Okay. So someone that's small talk. This part's interesting. Father to the child. Family, parental authority, and child. But it came in like this. Father to the child came in together. But that was interesting. Reader, I'm wondering if that was more her acknowledging that this is a detective, but this is truth unveiled. So the truth is probably going to come out because I keep pulling the justice card. Knight, but I'm taking it as battle because these have different meanings to them. It's not always just the personality, but I feel like there's a battle there. Painter. So I feel like she was artistic. Like she has that vibe about her. And I feel like gambler. It's also addiction, debt, fortune, speculation, risk taker, fate. Gambler. So weird because one of these, because what I keep seeing is, what is that main highway there? Is it 85? I keep getting 85 and I don't know if that's the name of the highway. But But you know how, like, you get off, like, there's, like, an overpass? I keep seeing a reference to an overpass, but I don't know if that's, like, just one near her or something like that. And there's a reference to 25. I'm not really sure what that is either. So we have, again, these can be symbolic as well, or they can be things on or around the area. I feel like window, like, this is looking out and wishing things were different. There might be something with the window too, window seal or glass. Saw the glass or whatever that was on the ground. Birthplace of dreams. I take that back as, like, maybe she moved there thinking things would be better. There might be, like, parking or something nearby. Countryside. I pulled this, reshuffled, and pulled it again. So there might be something like countryside-ish. But again, here's the forest. Could be somewhere that's, like, social, like, by there. Not, I don't think, like, she's in, like, a huge social area, but a variety of stores. Desert again, so sandy area. River. I mean, she apparently left the hospital a couple days before or something. Forest cabin I always take as, like, again, like, remote, wooded. There might be an airport somewhere around there. Windswept region. Coffee house or someplace like that. Are there any kind of I feel like I'm getting this too much lately and I don't know. Factories or I don't feel like she's really near. It might be towards that direction. Piles of sand of some sort. I haven't looked at the map, and I didn't look at the map for a reason. Some places accessible. It's interesting because I pulled the bridge and I had a feeling I was gonna do that, but this is like, again, could be an overpass or any sort of bridge nearby, and there might be it's a heartbreak place. Memories of heartbreak, loss, love, grief, which she might have felt before that. So I was, like, questioning if maybe, because I feel like she's really sad and depressed and she was really struggling. So it made me really question if she had done something, but I don't. The story's changing is what's getting me. That's what's getting me. Because I'm only getting bits and pieces of the puzzle. Now, if I do an Autowrite, I might get more and I might not. Like, I'm getting bits and pieces. So it could be any point around. It just giving me an area. So, and a vehicle. Do I think she got there alone? No, I don't. And again, I keep getting this volatile situation. Okay, so these cards are new. They are what lies beneath. So we have a situation's about to explode. Shit's about to pop off in flames, and that's exactly what I feel happened. Like, there was so much, like, animosity and jealousy and shit going on in the house that people aren't aware of. Plus, he was an abusive, angry person. Plus, like, all this stuff was going. It was like a disastrous situation. There's envy. Okay, I feel like, again, she was envious of this girl. This girl was envious of her. Or there's envy going on in the house, fulfilling a fantasy. The dude was fulfilling a fantasy with having whoever he wanted, whenever he wanted. Betrayal, deceit, backstab, traitor, not to be trusted. So there was betrayal going on all around her, with her friends, with this guy. Alleged they're not real friends, but I feel like they took advantage of her. I wonder if she, like, paid for stuff or something like that. So pregnancy test again. I think that she was pregnant and that she lost a baby, from my understanding. And they did show that part of the story as well. But I think there's somebody else pregnant in the house, or and there might even be more people pregnant out there. I don't know. Or I feel like maybe she may have been pregnant before this too and lost it or something. There's that kind of feeling too. I lost her picture. It's weird that the hotel motel keeps coming up. Because this is getting a room hotel motel, and I keep pulling that card. I don't know what the relevance is. It could be one nearby, or it could be one that they went to. Could be relevant. Bugaboo, like, I feel like every time she tried to leave, he was there, like, pulling her back. Falling apart, falling into pieces. This was her. Okay, she was falling apart by making bad choices, by being with this dude. Unfortunately, we've all been there, but someone was in their feels. I feel like she was in her feels to begin with, but I feel like she was starting to get resentful and stuff. But like, there's a lot of feelings going on around here, but there's a recording of something. Fighting for what you love, claiming what's yours, love is a battlefield. So this is, I feel, what's going on in the house. Bank failure. So somebody lost some money or something. And this is always how we perceive it. But interesting, we got the cleaning up and stuff, throwing away, getting rid of, tossing out. We have the trash. So there's just something in the trash. Check yourself. Burning evidence, which is interesting because we kept getting the fire card. So there might be evidence that was burned. It's interesting. Love story, once upon a time. Investigating a love story. And also hater. I feel like there was hating going on in the house with the females. But the cops may be investigating a love story. Also, she may have been, like, figuring out that there was cheating before he ever said anything. This caused depression. I do feel like and again, it's interesting. I said there's fake friends. I changed this back to purple because of domestic violence. And again, she was expecting prior to this, but there is also someone else that is expecting. So this is a twofold card. I found it interesting. It came up in the cards. She was tired of the drama. Copycat. Someone kind of being like her. Or taking what was hers. Kind of promiscuous. Sleeps around a lot. That's him. And he thought of her as outdated. He's always wanting something new. And he's always putting on a show. Everything was cool. Everything was great. This is all her. She ran away. She always came back. He's putting on a show for everybody. But we already know the tea. Anger management. He's got a major anger problem. And this is very toxic. The whole situation is toxic. Everything about the situation is toxic. So since this is like a crime and passion sort of relationship thing, I pulled the broken mirror cards, which are new cards, but they're kind of like revolve around relationships. So it's interesting. Love triangle. Ex in question, unfaithful. So that's the very first card that came out. Unfinished business. So there may, like, again, he used to apologize. She'd leave, she'd come back. Apologize, leave, come back. This is a soul contract, unfortunately. Karmic, I think. Fighting, one-sided, detached. There's a planning, text, phone call, meeting up. So again, the text went to her mom and stuff. I feel like there was a text sent by mail later. That's what I'm saying. I think her mom might be right about her not sending that text, it being someone else, because they showed me a male doing it. But I feel like she was meeting up, but she was kind of walking away. She was kind of done. And it was like, at the same time, there's reconciliation. So it was like this. She always walked away and he always pulled her back. She always walked away. He always pulled her back. That's the way it comes across. But he's very stubborn, bossy, selfish, inflexible. And she was always hurting, crying, depressed, pain and sorrow. I can't even talk. I'm sorry. And he was persistent. And there was secretive stuff going on too, like sneaky, mysterious, hiding information. That's going on now too, but very secretive stuff going on. And she was unsure, like choices and decisions, like she knew she had to make them. That's why I wondered, she really walked away, but then why are you going to change your story 10 times? Like, it feels like, I don't know. What's throwing me is allegedly seeing her on the 3rd. Like, that's what's throwing me. If that was even her. I was just, I don't know. Questioning everything. But she was sick and tired. She was over it. So there's maybe opposites here. I don't know if they were, I feel like they were real opposite for some reason. So this would, I think, vibe with them. I think she was more like eccentric, artsy, maybe more like loving. And I feel like she could have a temper on her, but I feel like wasn't anything like him for sure. I mean, everybody has a little bit of a temper, but I feel like they were opposite in that way. She was wanting a positive outcome, but there's a lot of avoidance here too, about avoiding the situations, and there's distraction. So again, he couldn't even have a relationship he wanted because there's distraction of these other women in the house. Temptation always busy, keep you waiting. That's what he did to her anyways, but there was always temptation and toxic people around. And I swear, I think he was like, there's this dating card keeps coming in. I mean, yes, they were married. It could be that, but I feel like, again, he was like dating on the side. And there's infatuation here. And I feel like she was over it. She might have even pushed back at some point, and then it just got out of hand. Distance, envy. I mean, basically, just everything we've already gotten. Now we're just going to pull some timing cards. I'm going to see. I'm back and forth on the rods, but I kind of want to do them real quick just to see what they say. But let me do the timing on this. I feel like November seems to be significant. I mean, like November, December time frame, but I don't know what that's for. Because I feel like at the same time, like, this might not take much longer. But we'll see what the timing thing says. I don't know how accurate these timings are, or these timing cards are. I haven't used them very much, but we have release any attachment to timing. More patience is required. Time has been delayed. Don't lose hope. Let it go. Let go of it all for now. October and within a couple weeks. So there might be something happening within a couple weeks. October.